Hello, everyone. So I am super excited about this live. This live is about a topic that many of you definitely have experienced challenges with, right? And it's about the keys to self-worth. It's something I have struggled with myself, and I am so excited to share with you about today. So the first thing I want to say is this. Before we go into what the keys to self-worth are, I want to share three barriers or three things that will sabotage self-worth. So the first one is believing in the fact that your worth depends on PR. By PR, I simply mean this: perfect results. All my perfectionists get this. This belief that when my results are perfect, then I am worthy. False. Because as you know, perfection doesn't really exist. And so if we keep chasing that mirage, it's definitely a recipe for never feeling fully worthy. The second way we sabotage or never really feel worthy is believing that our self-worth depends on oppose, other people's opinions. That, again, is extremely dangerous, because sometimes it's wonderful when we're getting praise and appreciation and recognition. And when that is withdrawn or not given, or even there's a lot of criticism, when our self-worth is hinged upon that, it's extremely painful. And the third is believing that our self-worth depends on Kias, or Kia. And Kia basically is feeling the need to know it all, knowing it all. This resonates with me because there was a time that I felt that I had to have all the answers in order to feel worthy of showing up, in order to feel that I could really raise my hand and say, yes, I'm able to do that. I'm capable of doing this. I even hid my results because I felt if somebody asked me questions and exactly how they had been achieved, etc., I may not have had all the answers. There might be something that wasn't perfect. Remember, perfect results. And I was so hungry for external approval, other people's opinions, that there were many times I just did not show up and shine. I was definitely sabotaging my self-worth. Now, how do we increase our worth? Bad news. We cannot increase our worth. You cannot increase your worth. Your worth is your worth. You're already worthy. And it does not increase or decrease by anything that anybody says or anything you do. The good news is that you can increase your sense of self-worth. So Rumi has this beautiful quote that basically says that instead of looking for love outside of yourself, your job actually is to seek and find all the barriers to love inside of yourself. It's exactly the same thing with self-worth. Instead of looking for self-worth by looking for validation from others, by achieving and overachieving, what gets to happen is you removing the barriers so that you can truly sense your worthiness. You can reconnect with your essence. You can reconnect with who you truly are. And you can recognize that Given where you come from and who you truly are, you are intrinsically worthy. Now, I'm going to share 3 ways in which you can increase your worthiness. Number 1 is wow. Basically, every single morning, you wake up already worthy. WUAW. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because no matter how many accolades you may have, no matter how many times people may praise you externally, your voice is the loudest. In fact, Michelle Obama was saying the other day that she has an amazing husband, Barack Obama, and he tells her how amazing and wonderful she is. And she said, sometimes that's not enough. And she realized that she needed to build up her own sense of worthiness. She could not depend on him for that. And that's been in a beautiful, amazing, loving environment. So my invitation is that every single morning, as part of your morning ritual, I'm big on morning rituals, you basically find 1, 2, 3, 10 gifts that you have. 10, 3, it doesn't really matter how many, but find on a regular, consistent basis good, great things to say about yourself, things that you appreciate about you, things that if you saw them in another sister, another queen, another person that you love and respect, you would say, wow. And when it comes to you, you get to give yourself the same grace. And I invite you to do this, not once or twice. Make this religious in the sense as inconsistent. Put this first, because when you wake up and you step into your worthiness, now you're operating from a space of, I'm already worthy. You're not jumping onto the rat race of hustling for worthiness, right? You're going up and showing up in the world already worthy and ready to be in service. Very, very different from not feeling worthy and doing everything you can to feel worthy. And in those situations, then it's all about you, not the other person. And people can feel this as a sense of desperation, where when a person says no to us, then we make it about ourselves and how bad we may be, and we feel rejected and we take it personally, as opposed to it may not have been a right fit, or I may get to learn how to land my message better. Can you see the separation there between who you are and what you did? Huge. Now, the second way to actually increase your sense of self-worth is that no matter what people may say, understand that people's opinions are like a supermarket, right? People's opinions are like a supermarket. So when you go to a supermarket, there's so many products. You never go into a supermarket and just accept everything. You go on the shelves, and although there are many tempting things, you choose what you want or you need. And as an adult, you have the faculty of choosing what you allow into your internal world, discernment. And so whenever you hear feedback or criticism or comments, whatever they may be, you get to choose whether you're going to internalize that or not. And I'm not saying that whenever you hear something that's not flattering, you simply ignore it and say, that's not my business, and become defensive. Absolutely not. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, by the way. However, you may decide to hear, oh, this person is upset, or this person is disappointed, or this person did not like that particular result, as opposed to hearing that you are bad or you are wrong, or there's something wrong with you and you're not enough, etc., etc. Because when it is that I'm already enough, I already belong, and the results may not be what we both expected, then the question is, what can I or what can we do about it? From a space of worthiness, not a space of hustling for worthiness. Now, the third thing is that it's very, very important to know that worthiness does not come from knowing it all. It's not required to know it all in order to have a seat at the table, in order to be of value. In fact, that is old leadership. New leadership is really about getting curious, asking questions, knowing that your value is not a factor of you being some form of encyclopedia. In a world where information is changing all the time, new technology is, it's so quick. You now have Chat GPT. You can type a few questions and get all the answers you want. Your value as a leader is certainly not to be a walking encyclopedia. Your value is about creating a space where others can bring their opinions without needing to be perfect, which actually increases creativity because we're allowed to be messy, right? We're allowed to brainstorm without needing to be perfect. And so leaders are curious. Leaders do not need to know it all. So 3 tips to increase your worthiness. The first is wow, wake up already worthy. Include positive self-talk about yourself every single morning, every single day. The second is BD, be discerning about what you let in. Know that all the opinions are like you in a supermarket, and you get to say, yes, thank you, no, thank you, yes, thank you, no, thank you. You decide. And the third is GC, get curious. Know that you can show up and not know all the answers, and that your curiosity, your ability to ask questions, your ability to say, oh, I don't know the answer to that, let me get back to you upon that, is absolutely priceless. So I'd love to hear which one of the self-sabotaging ways, or the ways in which you self-sabotage when it comes to self-worth you had. So is it PR, perfect results? Is it oppose, believing in other people's opinions as if they were gospel truth? Or is it Kia, like believing that you have to know it, you have to know it all? And which of the solutions, which of the tips to really increasing your self-worth are you going to start implementing today? So is it going to be, wow, wake up already worthy? Is it going to be being discerning, choosing what you're going to be letting in? Or is it going to be getting curious? Or is it going to be all 3? I'd love, love, love to hear your opinions. Share with me. It's super important that we practice these things, because knowing them is not enough. What really matters is us practicing them. So love and light. I'll see you soon.